Welcome to the world of Warcraft.
Starting out, we want to let the patrol pad away while we run over to our corner here. Normally we would jump near this pillar to get up, but unfortunately in Turtle WoW that does not work, so we have to jump in the corner here. And as long as we skirt the edge, even if the mobs aggro, we can lose them on these pillars. Move forward a little bit here, watch this patrol go, and we'll get to the edge here and wait for the patrols to move around. We use track humanoids to track these patrols as they go by. You'll notice in the cut the patrols are slightly different. As we watch these, we want to make sure that this patrol with the dogs goes away. We're going to hop down, summon our pet, set a frost trap here to slow down the mobs that will be chasing him in just a moment. We're going to send him to these far mobs here in just a second, so you'll notice we're going to send our pet in and send him back to these mobs way back there. And they don't run into the frost trap, but that's okay. There's a couple different ways to do that part. You can do the old passive stay command to do it, but we'll run up here, up the ramp, watching all of our patrols. And fortunately, we are going to get up here and then feign death and open the chest. Still watching those patrols, grabbing the key, and we're going to book it right through here. And hang left on this banister. Check for a book, no book. Hop down here to the Courtyard Door, open that. Inside here, we're going to be watching for the eye. If you don't kill the eye, it spawns 2 demon voidwalkers that will see through stealth and basically require a reset to get past. But to save yourself some time, go ahead and wait for that to come. You can use track demons if you prefer, or you can just wait. You'll notice we put our pet on a defensive stay command. We did that so that when you can put it on passive after we send him down here. So I'm going to tell him to attack. Just a moment, we put a frost trap there to delay the mobs. He's going in. You'll notice we don't have him sprinting yet. When he gets about to the top of that ramp, we have him sprint in. Then we put him on passive, so he'll go back to his stay spot. We'll run by these mobs. You may get Curse of Tongues. Don't worry about that too much. Just run to this other corner down here. Your pet should despawn. There he goes. We'll get into this corner safely. Feign death. Look back behind us. Make sure these mobs are reset properly. You don't have to do that, but it's something that I've gotten the habit of because strange things happen at times. Here we're going to do a similar pull with the first group of ogres. We are going to send this group back to the other. We're going to set a freezing trap to slow them down. Hopefully our pet won't die. Here we go. We're going to send our pet in. And we're going to have him sprint from the get-go. There he goes. We're going to send him back as soon as he gets some aggro. We're going to run by this warlock. The warlock can banish you. Don't panic. Just try and get as far down here as you can. And then when he banishes you, you just try to use deterrence, anything else you can to survive. But for now, we're going to feign death here. Unfortunately, our pet died. That's okay. Where we're at the point of this diamond, we can actually resummon our pet safely. We'll go ahead and resummon him. Make sure we get him all fed up. This next pull is going to be similar to the last. We'll set our frost trap. Get ready for our next pull. Once again, we'll have him sprinting from the get-go. Send him in, and then send him back to those ogres. Just waiting on the guard to spawn back. You can use track humanoids here to help you out with that. Alright, there goes Sprint and the pet. He's going to drag those bugs all the way back to the ogres. I don't think it's going to be far enough. I do believe our pet is going to die again. There he goes. Make sure you don't overrun this corner if that guard's patrolling away when you start, or else you will run right into him. And that'll make a short run. part can be a little tricky. You can stay feign death for a little bit. I know in classic retail you can wait for another eye to come down that ramp. It does not in Turtle WoW. So you will have to go up the ramp to get the eye. Don't worry about it, don't sit here and wait for it. It will not come down the ramp all the way around the corner where you can shoot it. This next part, there's a couple ways to do it. I will show you what I found to be the easiest. We'll be using Scatter Shot and Concussive Shot on the two Reavers here, keeping Cheetah up. Just gonna wait for this guard to patrol. You'll notice we kind of played keep away from him here on this pillar. As he goes, the further away he gets, the closer we can get to the other edge. And he's at his furthest point right now, so we're going to go ahead and go for it. Scatter Shot, Concussive Shot, keep running, feign death at the bottom of this ramp here, just outside of the next group of mobs. We have our Invisibility Potion up. Go ahead and use it, run around that corner, run all the way up this ramp, right through these mobs. You'll notice the eye coming down the ramp here in just a second. Don't worry about it, it cannot see through invisibility, only through stealth. Now we're going to go ahead and call our pet, start reviving him. We're going to wait for that eye. Here comes the eye. Go ahead and take that out. Come down here. Put your pet on a stay command once again. We're going to do the defensive stay into passive mode to pull those mobs away. Go ahead and place our frost trap. Up onto the banister here. Get ready to send our pet in. Make sure you put your large Seaforium charge on a hotkey just to make it that much faster getting through the door. We'll replace Arcane Shot. Seaforium charge for right now. Go ahead and send our pet in. Don't make him sprint till he gets to the top of the ramp here once again. There he goes. I'm going to put him back on passive here. We almost messed that up, but thankfully we did not. You notice in Turtle WoW the mobs pause here. Don't panic. They will follow your pet as they did there. Go ahead and blast the door open here. Head on through. Unfortunately, I do make a mistake here in recalling my pet. The reason I do this is because if you have him on a stay command and he dies and you res him, he will actually try to head back to his last stay command. So I try to cheat the system here. Unfortunately, that means my pet runs back through the freezing trap again, dragging the mobs through it yet again. So the mobs are after me now. At least they're much closer. We're going to go ahead and feign death here. The mobs are reset, as you can see. And then we'll go ahead and res our pet and go through the process of getting ready for the next pull. And for this pull, we are going to use our pet to run into this group of ogres, the Reaver on the right in particular, and then we're going to send him back to a very far away group of ogres behind the corner here. We're going to take advantage of this and get some mana while our pet is gaining some happiness. He's about done. We just need to top off the mana. And we're going to go ahead and feed him one more time just to make sure the next time we revive him he's not upset. Because unfortunately he's probably going to die again. There's our Frost Trap to help slow these mobs down. Go ahead and select the Reaver. Get ready to send our pet in. Get ready to select the mob in the back. You can see me kind of peeking around that corner trying to get the right camera angle. Trying to get this set up. Send our pet in. Got the Reaver in the back selected. Here we go. There goes the pet. There go the mobs. Give that caster a wide berth. And unfortunately our pet is already dead. No worries. As soon as we get in this corner you'll see the mobs coming for us. We just feign death again. Make sure that they reset properly. Go through the process. Calling a pet. Resing the pet. And I spotted the dog patrol up ahead of us. We're waiting for that to patrol away. You can see that group dots away from the larger group, and they're becoming one in our mini map. And as they merge and start heading towards the center, I know we've got a clear path to go. So we're going to set our pet on stay here. Keep him on defensive so that we can put him to passive and make him come back to this spot as needed. For this pull, we're going to send him into the captain and then into the ogre group beyond, so he pulls both at once, and then send him right back here. Sometimes your pet can die doing this, so be prepared for that. But we try to get both, and if we send him back, you'll notice here the pet almost dies. Literally, that frostbolt leaves him with 70 health. Thankfully though, we get far enough away that he despawns here, so we don't have to revive him again. These mobs come after us. No worries there. We'll be able to get around this corner. That mage won't be able to cast. We'll get up here and feign death. Now we're ready for the second to last part of getting ready for the boss. There's one group of dogs on patrol that we'll need to take out, and I'm going to try something here that unfortunately does not work, but I do want to show you the method. It's the same as setting up for the king pull. We're going to run up here with our pet, and at this furthest pillar next to the last ghost, we are going to put him behind this pillar, just like you would for a king pull in retail. And get him positioned just right, how I like it. Alright. There are the dog patrols. I try to get range. We can't get range here. We wouldn't want to pull them quite right there anyways. They might pull the king. So we're just waiting. What I want to do is to send my pet in, but he's too far away now to do that. So I'm going to try something else by jumping off here in just a moment and pulling those dogs, and then trying to beat them back up here. It's not going to work, but I do want to show you the things that I've done that don't work as well, so you don't have to try them yourself. We're going to try and set a frost trap, pull the dogs into it. It doesn't quite work as planned, but I do want to show you what happens. So we still have Cheetah going. Those dogs are really fast. They are going to catch up with us here in no time. And they have an ability that will slow you down worse than dazed. We're going to try and get up here. This jump can be quite tricky. We got lucky that time, but you can see they're already on me. Try to concussive one, scatter another. It's just not enough. I try to call my pet in, but you'll notice when we ran to the beginning of the ramp there where the ramps join, the pet despawned. And those dogs just have too much health for me right now with my current gear to take out. And we've run into another issue where I forgot to move Arcane Shot and switch it with Large Seaforium Charge. So here, we've got dogs above and below us, which is just trouble. We're going to try and get down here. And we're going to try to wing clip. We know, see, Tendon Rip is the one, and their rend is also just brutal. So we're going to feign death, let the dogs reset, give it another go. And we're going to cut here real quick while we wait for the dogs to patrol around. And I'll see you in just a moment. Here we are, the dogs are back. We've got our frost trap down. Got our pet up this time. And this is another go that doesn't quite go to plan, but we do make it work. We at least get one of them down. So I want to show you how that works. They will destroy your pet, as you'll notice here. We did get one in the freezing. We're going to try and burn one down, but I forgot to turn pet taunt on the pet. And you'll see my pet is slowed down as well. He's trying to catch up with this dog. We're going to end up killing this dog, but we're going to lose the pet to the second dog, unfortunately. We saved our feign death because I'm trying to kill one more dog. It's not going to work. Pet's going to die. And I'm just going to feign death again just to reset. With two dogs, it should be a little easier. Just can't outrun him even if I was in Cheetah right now. And our mana's not quite there. So here's something fun. If you forget and run at yourself out of mana like so, I just ran out of mana. What do? You hit Deterrence, chug a potion. It's not worth dying here. Don't worry about the potion. We get another dog down. So we have 2 dogs down. We feign death at that moment. If Rend had still been ticking, we would have used Stone Form because we're a dwarf. Otherwise, you might have eaten something real quick just to gain that health. Now we're going to gain some mana back. Watch that dog patrol. We've got some assistance. We've got some assistance here from some guildmates, so I can do some marking for the boss pull. There goes that dog across the way. We're gonna wait for him to patrol around. We're gonna get our pet up. One of the key differences I noticed here in Turtle WoW versus Retail Classic, these ghosts do not put you in combat here. In Classic Retail, they put you in combat, which makes drinking and eating quite difficult. Another trick that I found quite annoying, we'll go over in just a moment once we finish this dog off so we can focus on it. Got our immolation trap, aim shot up. Do as much damage as we can at range. Keep him on us as long as possible so the pet doesn't take full damage quite yet. Finish him off. Notice just how much he's chunking our pet. I don't have a tank pet, but still. Most other mobs at that level do not do that kind of damage, so be careful with your pets. They can go down very fast. Want to make sure loot's on free for all so I don't get stuck with any funky loot rules while we take the boss down. Go ahead and get the mobs marked. What I was speaking about with drinking and eating being different here from Retail Classic, it's when you eat or drink here as you're tethering the mobs back and forth. I'll talk to you about this more as we see the pull. They will actually aggro on you if you drink. So you have to use mana potions here rather than drinking in between pulls after a feign death. Normally you would feign death, drink up while they're tethering up to your pet, and then hop up to shoot them before they get to your pet. Unfortunately you can't do that here, so we have to do something a little different. You'll notice we've set our pet up just like we did for the first attempt with the dogs. We're going to get our mana up to full, make sure we're ready to go for this pull. Mana's full. We'll send our pet in here in just a moment. Get our last buff up. Got our pet on defensive. He's going in. We're not going to have him sprint until he gets on that platform right there behind the observer. Tell him to sprint. Once he gets it, he goes back. You'll notice on Turtle WoW, he goes this way, like straight through the air. On Retail WoW, he will actually go up that ramp, back around, and back by us. Just another little difference and fun nuance between Retail and Turtle. Here, the first goal is to drain X of mana. So we're going to drain that Observer of all their mana so they cannot cast spells at us. You'll notice they leash separately, so we have to make sure that we don't let them get to our pet, because they will 1 or 2 shot our pet. The king's going to charge us here. Don't get in line of sight of him up top or he will charge you, and that will end your run pretty quick. You notice we just keep doing this loop. We feign death here. We'll let the king go back. There's a speed difference between the two mobs, as you might have noticed. So the observer's a little bit slower. So we try to time it so that they are both near each other when they get up there. We use these pillars for line of sight to prevent them from casting at us. Try not to use Arcane Shot when I can, because right now the idea is not to do all the damage to the king at the moment. It's to get the mana off the observer to make this a little bit easier. Get a little cheeky there with an extra Viper Sting. We've got them both near us, so we can just feign right now. Try to let them get 2 pillars away or so, and keep line of sight between them. I've had it where you feign death and got up too soon, the king will just turn around and smack you down. Not too much fun having to run all the way back in, waste consumables and your time. Once again, we drop down to give time for the observer to catch up. We don't want them to get too far apart or this becomes extremely difficult in my experience. So we're going to feign here, the king's a little too close. If you get too close to the edge here, he could hit you from down below, so we want to try and stay far enough away. This fight does take a while. So you'll notice that even when we stung him, we didn't get threat. It was only after we shot. Now we have to get it on the king as well. Do a quick arcane shot. And get another cheeky shot in. Try to regen some mana. Don't want to use those mana potions until we have to. We're going to get another Viper Sting in right there. It also slows the observer down, lets the king catch up. We drop down, we run around. Keep an eye on where they are. You can look at your mini-map as well. If you've kept Track Humanoid on, we're going to feign death there. Let the king get a ways away. This one's going to be a little tricky because the king's going to be on us way before the observer gets down, so we run to this other pillar. We're going to try and time it to where we drop off. The observer's just coming down that first ramp, and now they're coming at us from 2 sides. We'll stay far enough away. There, keep line of sight. The king run. We've almost got that observer out of mana. Then we'll start working on the king. There we go. This should be the last shot that's needed, but we'll want to make sure he's drained of mana throughout the rest of the fight. Do an aim shot here on the king. It's going to get a little close to our pet. Thankfully, he didn't take a hit there. You'll notice we have them kind of separated again. I hit him with another sting, just out of habit, probably a waste of mana. Now we have to be careful that the king doesn't charge us here. Thankfully, Feign Death is up. We went ahead and used it. Now, the mistake there was now there's such a big distance between the king and the observer. We're going to have to rush up and hit the king real quick. And then as soon as we can, hit the observer as well, so that he comes back down at about the same time. And we're able to do that. Just keeping them as close together as possible, it makes your life a lot easier. Drop down, back around, rinse and repeat. I do make a mistake coming up here. A couple mistakes, and I'm leaving them all in. Show what can happen and how you can hopefully avoid either the mistake itself or what to do if you do make the mistake and how to recover from it. Get an aim shot in here on the king, hit him with a sting. Hit the observer again, make sure he's coming back, make sure his mana's gone. Thinking about using a potion. Go ahead and drop. Could have waited an extra second, but sometimes it's better to not take the chance. It should hit the top of the ramp, not too far apart. Which lets us get another aim shot in on the king. Then multi-shot to get both of them. If you can, and you have the mana, I should say. It's a nice way to do it. If they're both next to each other, you can just multi-shot and get them both. Does a little extra damage to the king, saves you a cooldown from having to use it on the observer. Coming up, I do believe my mistake happens. Aim shot in still. I sent the observer back a little early, but the king moves so much faster right now, it's okay. Feign Death is almost off cooldown. I figure, we better get down. Notice we get dazed from the observer. Try and let the king get a little closer, and then I go ahead and Feign Death. You can come this way as well, as you see, but I took a big risk here. Sometimes I've had them come and stomp me because I get too close, or some other strange thing with the aggro happens. Now wait, you get a multi-shot in. There's another one. Hit him with another sting to make sure his mana's constantly gone. In Classic, I believe he regens a little bit faster than he does on Turtle WoW. So it's just a force of habit that I keep stinging the observer. If we do this right, we can get another multi-shot in, get them both coming back. There we go, get another sting. Just under 50% at last. Couldn't quite get that last shot in, so we pulled back behind our pillar. Do it again. Got quite lucky this run. There were quite a few times when I was able to use multi-shot to get them both back. And this one, I'll let the observer get too close. Hit him with the sting I meant for the king. Wasted some mana. But better to have the pet alive and not have to reset the whole fight. And I think this is where I make my mistake. I get too close to the edge. Nearly get killed by the king. That was a big mistake. You'll notice here, I'm going to start bandaging, and that will pull both of them back onto me really fast. You'll notice that once that heal goes off, the threat switches right back to me. Warriors, you can Blood Rage after a pull, and then bandage yourself to get mob threat the same way. At least on Turtle WoW. I don't remember if it worked quite that way on Classic. close to the pet, but we were able to pull him back. Get one more cheeky shot in. Might be tempted to get a little more damage than that in, but it's better to be safe than sorry in my experience here. He's almost got enough mana for a spell, so we're going to hit him with a sting when he comes back up. There we go, hit him with the sting, hit him with another shot to bring him back. You'll notice he did start casting, actually. But thankfully our first tick took him down below his mana requirement. Pretty soon, the king will get low enough on health, he will actually start slowing down. Then you can pour some extra damage on him. Make another mistake here. Get lucky that my auto shoot was up. The observer doesn't do as much damage to your pet as the king, but you can still kill it pretty easily. Get a cheeky shot in here for another sting on the king. And then we do our merry-go-round again. Feign. And I make an error and I get up too soon. You'll notice the king turned right around on me. Now I have an issue. I have the king chasing me with Feign Death on the long cooldown. I need to get the observer back down so he doesn't kill my pet. And I need to survive. So I run a little bit too far. Should have fallen a little bit sooner because the king is going to catch me here. And I don't have a lot of options. So we run as long as we can. Hit deterrence. Feign Death is down finally, and then we are fortunate enough to Feign Death. That could have ended our run really sadly with the king on super low health. Send the observer back down, and here we're going to be finishing off the king. If not on this, very soon. You notice his speed has already started to slow down. Aim shot in, another sting, and then he'll be getting real low. We're gonna get a multi-shot in, get them both. Look at that. Here we go. Finish him off time, hit him with another sting. I should have gone a little further for an extra shot. If that sting had ticked once more, he'd be dead right now, but not a problem. There we go. That's one example of how to do the Dire Maul Tribute Run solo as a hunter on Turtle WoW. I'll show the loot for you guys. We got lucky, I got my chest piece. Already got the pants on a previous run. And I also got a tarnished elven ring previously. As far as selling these runs, I don't think that you can because the mobs stay aggressive. I will be doing some tests with some friends to see if I can get a rogue in here, at least to get rings and whatnot. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, would like another video later, let me know in the comments below. If you're wondering what Turtle WoW is all about, I will have some links here, either on the screen or in the description below. Feel free to come join us, join the community. Lots of new content for those who are looking for some Vanilla Plus content rather than where Blizzard went. There's a lot of content already in the game, and they've got a lot of great plans. Hope to see you around. Take care.